And me healing other people is healing me.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm constantly healing more and more as I see the addicts, which what addicts are supposed to do. Now, me, I'm not anonymous. Okay, so I go.
What's happening, man? This is Tip T.I. Harris. I am your host here for the show expediTIously, where we have conversations with interested people that we could get used to push the culture forward. Now, my guest for today is an actor, a comedian, an entertainer, an author, and most importantly, he's one of the funniest comedians that I've had an opportunity to see.
Thank you.
In person and on television. Now, I first met or learned of him from Def Comedy Jam,
right.
way back
114 years ago.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He definitely an OG in the game and just an incredibly talented individual who has been in some of the biggest films of our culture. I let him name them, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to waste no more time in welcoming to expediTIously the legendary Michael Colyar.
Thank you, brother.
What's
Thank you
happening?
for having me here, man. First, I'm honored to just sit at the table with you. I'm a fan of yours, and
right on.
Beyond the
I appreciate
music,
it.
I'm a fan of your brain, brother. You know, and how you how you think, how you care about the community, man. You know, I was at the McCormick place with you once.
Yes.
And we were all sitting on a panel. That's the first time I saw your brain in action. I was like, whoa, you got something going on there. I like that. And I was watching Big Boy talk to you a couple of days ago too. I like that you stand in your integrity. You know, you know what you believe in and you speak it, you know. So I was very honored, and I am honored to be here today, bro.
Man, I appreciate we're honored to have you and in your comedy and in speaking in conversation with you because, you know, we've been kind of personally acquainted for a number of years now where we'll call each other every now and again just to check in, see what's happening. And you are unapologetically honest about what got you here to this point today.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? In comedy, you'll tell, you know, your humble beginnings as an addict.
Yes, sir.
And you've been 9 years sober.
That's right.
Now you
That's
said,
right.
I put this 1942.
That's right. That's okay. Go on, have yours. You can fire one up. It don't affect me. I still hang out with people who had a party. It don't have nothing to do with me.
Man, in researching you, though, man, just as, you know what I'm saying, professionally, I've seen that they have you listed as a comedian focused on conscious comedy.
Yes, sir.
Observational comedy.
Yes, sir.
Black humor and self-deprecation.
I don't do a whole lot of self-deprecation.
What's self-deprecation?
That's when you talk about yourself. When you talk down about yourself, you know.
Well, no,
like that's what deprecation is.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is the bit that I saw you do on Def Comedy Jam, we're talking about, you know what I'm saying, how you smoked and
right,
what you did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that could be a form of self-deprecation.
That could come under there very loosely.
Right, but
that would fall under
over time, though, I've seen you evolve into kind of, you don't even curse no more, do you?
Well, I do. You
do?
Oh, I love cursing. No, cursing is my shit. You know,
I had to throw one in there to show people you're serious about it.
I just did a new book, and it starts out with me cursing, but it's for motivation. I do motivational speaking.
Right.
So my new book is Michael Goes Motivational. So I'm doing motivational speaking from a comedic point of view.
Right on.
So my folks who work with me are afraid the book is not going to really sell in that community because I start out cussing. Right. You know, and I introduce myself as Michael motherfucking Colyar. That's who I am. You know? and they're like, well, do you want to leave the cursing in? Yes, I want to leave the reality of who I am in.
You're fucking right.
That's who I am. You know? And so it's so much. You know, I'm just a brother from the hood, from the projects, you know, and I'm from Chicago, South Side, Robert Taylor Home, 4352 South State Apartment 909. And it don't matter how many homes or places I live in, I always keep the community in my spirit, in my heart. Like, I don't go into any city and perform, and I'm somewhere every week without going into the hood. When I go, first of all, I got to do is go to Martin Luther King.
That's it.
Because that's always in the hood. It usually ain't more than 3-4 blocks long. But if you find that, you know you're going to find some soul food and some brothers, you know. Real. So I always go to the hood. Some culture. Yeah. You know, because I can always get that other thing. But
that's right.
To remember where we come from, to bring people with us is kind of important. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm real excited about this. You know, this is my third book, incidentally. Right. My first book I did on my president. Funny thing happened on the way to the White House. I knocked on the door and the brother answered, you know.
and it's a children's book, right?
It's anybody who can read book, you know. They call it a children's book because it got cartoons in it, And there's no profanity. So I let it
Right.
slide as a children's book. But anyone who just sort of want to follow what happened with Barack, they can see it because it's important. So when I sell these, I sell them like 3 at a time. Because I say you need one for yourself because it's going to be a collector's item.
Right.
You know, you need one for your children because if black kids are going to learn about black history, they get to learn it at the house.
That's real.
They don't teach that in our schools, you know. And then you want one for your mama because black mothers know how important Barack Obama is as well as was. And you get her one of them, she can fuck around and make you a sweet potato pie. Oh, yeah, you know.
Now,
So yeah.
I've been told by grandmothers that my sweet potato pie was better than
Oh, you can
theirs.
cook?
Yeah, well, I'm a one-trick pony now as a
Oh, you
baker.
do?
I only do sweet potato pie.
See, me it's just collard greens.
I don't do pound cake. I don't do pecan pie. I just do sweet potato pie, but it is phenomenal.
But I'd love to hold you to that one day. Let me show you this real quick.
Show it to
When
me.
you flip through it, it's just real simple. It showed that when he got in office, everybody loved him, black, white, young, old. But then once he got in office, they tried to tear the White House in half before they let that nigga succeed. But look at Barack Obama on both sides of the White House pushing it right back together.
That's right.
And these are collard greens Michelle grew at the White House garden.
Okay.
You know, so it goes through and show all the ugly things. And this is 2 years before he got in office.
That's
show
right.
all the ugly things that people said about him, but how he still handled everything with dignity and
Extreme
character and
poise.
grace. You know, and then he messed around and got a two terms. And I tell you, his greatest accomplishment is living, that they didn't kill him. It's in them 8 years. And he ain't perfect, you know, but no president is,
None
no
of us
person
are.
is, you know, but everybody else had a shot at it. We should have a shot at it. So every place I go, I make sure I talk about Barack and I lift him up. And sometimes
That's right.
it's always some white folks come to my show, you know, a handful of them. They always want to see what the black people are doing, you know, because everybody want to be black except black people.
Hey man, everybody loves soul.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Everybody
you
want a
know?
little soul and they die.
And
you know what I'm
sometimes they
saying?
come to me and they address me, or, you know, you just love him because he's black. Yeah. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. I mean, white folks have 43.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, that's where it starts. Because, you know, if I show you a picture of your graduating class,
Right.
what's the first thing you going to do?
I'm going to look for me in it.
You going to look for you.
Yeah.
So in anything we see, we looking for ourselves. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's human nature.
Yeah.
So there's a certain level of support that comes with the fact that you see yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Just don't be dishonest about it. You know, like that's everybody is going to do the same thing. If you pass somebody a picture of a graduating class with a bunch of people in that picture, the first thing you're gonna do is go straight to finding you.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I don't think that's problematic.
Well, you know, I don't want to just find me. I want to amplify me.
That's right.
You know, all aspects of me, because Barack is an aspect of me.
That's real.
All black people who are doing anything that's positive, I lift that up. And I do it in a room full of white people.
Right.
I stand in a room full of white people and tell black people my favorite people in the whole wide world. And sometimes they'll come up to you and, you know, yeah, you just like him because he's black. Well, yes, I love him because he's black, because white folks had 43 of their own president. They carry him on their shoulder like Jesus Christ.
But guess what?
We have one, and being proud of it makes me racist.
Well, listen, wait a minute, because they say that you only like him because he's black. Well, listen, you only dislike him because he's black.
Yeah, a lot of folks do, and that's the only. They have no other.
There's
That's
no
the only
other
reason.
real reason because he's black. So if you don't need to explain or justify the fact that you only dislike him because he's black, why do I have to explain that the beginning of why I like him is because he's black?
Exactly.
I mean, to me, that's something that others have to get over. That ain't our battle to fight.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? That's projection. That's something that they got to deal with within their own
That's
psyche.
right. But see, my comedy is an uplifting business, though. You know, that's what I try to do. I'm always uplifting black people because I think loving yourself out loud is not racism. I think
That's
it's
right.
race pride.
That's right.
You know, so I'm always upping us, you know, and talking about what we're doing and how to get us to the next level.
Sure.
You know, so that's why my first book was just fabulous. But the second one now, this one,
Uh-huh.
Miss Innocent Goes to Cool School and
Miss
other silly
Innocent
stuff.
goes to cool school.
And this is a poetry book for adult children.
Okay,
people
for
like
adult
you,
children.
people
I
like
got
you,
you.
Robin
Okay.
Williams,
Yeah.
people who love this life and know
Right.
that if you keep God first, you can do anything.
That's real.
You know, but this one, a lot of people be confused because they see the cartoon and say, "Oh, I'm gonna get that for my grandbaby." You know, whoa, you don't want this one for the grandbaby. There's some language in this one. You know, so
Right.
the first page says this book contains cussing and shit. It just tell you right up front, so you don't go run out and get that for the grandbaby.
That's
but
right.
that one covers a lot of things in my life. Like there's a page in there about my addiction called A Piece of Crack on Your Crack Attack. And when you get to that one, I am inside a cocaine vial.
Okay.
So on the top of it, it says R.I.P. for rest in peace. Because when you getting high, technically your ass is dead. Technically, you'll put your life on hold. That's a simple one called fly. You know how you tear your house up trying to kill one fly and the motherfucker still get away? He tore the house up trying to kill that one fly. The fly way over there somewhere. That's my favorite one. That one's called Daddy by Phone because I have a daughter that I had out of wedlock. So her mother didn't let me see a whole lot of her until she was 7 and she wanted to see her daddy.
Right.
You know, and then once I got to see her, she was resistant, you know, because she felt like I didn't want her. It wasn't I didn't want her. I just couldn't have a mama at the time.
Right.
And so...
well, you know, that could be always translated to the child. You got somebody who's, you know, programming the mind of a child.
But you know, her mother didn't. Her mother didn't do that. That's a good thing. I give her mama credit.
Well, that's great.
She never did that, but she was feeling that. But I was forced her to be with me because I was going to make her know that I'm her daddy. I mean, I would go and take her places. I was like, we going to the Black Museum. She's like, Daddy, I'm not feeling okay. You're not going to feel good at the Black Museum because we going to picnics. We going to libraries. And I was teaching her culture because I was determined to be her daddy, even if I was going to be her daddy by phone. So now she's 25, sings like an angel. Matter of fact, I'm sending her to Atlanta this week to start her first album. And she's going to do 7 tracks with this guy named Carl Solo. Do you know this producer, Carl Solo?
Maybe by face, not as much by name.
But now she loves her daddy. We've come up together, and she's just so fly. But that's like one of my favorite poems. I gotta show you the piece of crack on your crack attack.
Okay.
So if you look at that, so the R.I.P. is I'm in a casket. That's why it has R.I.P. on the top because you know your life's on hold. No, it's a cocaine vial.
Yeah.
But with the R.I.P. on it, rest in peace. It makes it a casket because technically you dead when you getting high. If you look on my shoulders, that's a crack pipe. That was the weight I carried. On my leg was a crack rock. That's my ball and chain. And my mother loved Barack Obama, so I have one there called My Mama Likes Obama. But that's the second book. Those are 2 I'm already selling, and they moving. The new one, Michael Goes Motivational.
Okay,
that's the shit.
Okay.
Michael Goes Motivational
this is a picture of a cover.
Yep, it's a picture of a couple.
And you say you just finished that today?
I finished this afternoon.
Okay,
but I'll have it in 2 days. I'm going through 48-hour
and you self-publishing?
Book publishing. Yep, self-publishing through Vegas. So I'm getting on a black cruise tonight.
A black cruise?
Oh, yeah, Capital Jazz Super Cruise, brother.
Okay, now.
Oh, it's off the chain.
Well, what you got going on?
Oh, it's crazy. Oh, man. Some of the coldest, let me see that. Some of the coldest musical artists on the planet. We do this every year. This is my 7th year with them. And I bring the comedians, and they bring the top comedians and top musical artists. And we have 4,000 black people. We out there for 8 days on the cruise. And we have 3,000 people on the waiting list. I know Tom Joyner got a nice cruise, but this here, this is that on steroids, brother. And so we leave tonight for the Caribbean.
Well, I mean, I think that all of these things are these are the astronomical accomplishments, but nothing as impressive as being able to shake away from the life
of your addiction.
I mean, not just addiction, man. It's the lifestyle that comes with addiction. You know what I'm saying? I feel that so many brothers and sisters are fighting with tearing themselves away from that lifestyle, who have enormous amounts of talent, enormous amounts of ability, but just, you know what I'm saying, can't necessarily turn away from the lifestyle that comes with addiction.
Brother, it's difficult, man. You know, because like any addiction, it is a disease of the mind, and it is an addiction of the spirit.
Right.
So, you know, for most people, it's psychological, but some of it is physiological too. Because my brother, who's a heroin addict, he is his physiological.
Physical
We
dependence.
almost lost him about 4 days ago. He had an overdose because he got bad fentanyl in his heroin. You know, this is a conversation that I'm having. How do I have that conversation? And he already ready to go back to the same spots we hang out.
Yeah.
So as an addict, we know we have to stay away from the people, places, and things.
That's right.
That have that drug that we just love. Like, I miss crack. I remember the first year.
So you miss crack?
Yeah, I miss crack. Every now and then, you'll still have an urge for it because, I mean, that first year, I missed it like the bad girlfriend. You don't want to fuck real good, but the bitch crazy.
That's right.
So you want to get the fuck out as soon as y'all get out of here. Don't call me no more, bitch.
So like the dick only thing calm them down.
Oh yeah, no, it's such an amazing psychological place that it takes you, but you have to train yourself that there are greater things.
Absolutely.
Like for me, the gifts of sobriety way outweigh the gifts of getting high. You know, I lost more friends, more opportunities than I could name because I thought they're getting high. And when you high, you don't think people know. You don't think nobody know you high but you.
Right.
So you show up at auditions sweating like R. Kelly in the playground. Don't get mad. I know all you artists are friends.
Man, I'm the exact opposite. Every time I'm high, I assume everybody can see it.
Oh, really?
See what I'm saying? So
yeah, but you ain't.
Like to get
it's
high.
a whole different one. You ain't hit that motherfucking rock. We hit that rock. That rock a different story now.
I ain't never even did cocaine before.
Wow, good for you.
I've never done
God
cocaine.
Bless you. Good for you, man.
But look, though, I sold enough to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But listen, they say that like crack is, you know, a more affordable version of cocaine. But to be honest with you, aside from baking soda, water, and you know what I'm saying, the process, the high is, you know, how does the high so much more addictive than it is for cocaine? And when you started to get money and become famous, did you not feel the transition?
Well, you know, that's when I started getting high.
Oh, you started when the money came.
Yeah.
Okay.
Robin Williams said it best, man. Cocaine is God's way of saying you're making too much goddamn money. So I mean, I didn't have the money before that. I was smoking weed, you know.
That's right.
And then I started getting paper, and somebody came. I had that first rock, you know, that first high is like a euphoric blast. That you end up chasing the rest of your life.
That's what they say. The first high is never as good as the first time.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they say. Sade meant.
Oh yeah. And that's like the first time.
Never good as the
right.
first time, because after that first time, you continue to try to get as high as you were when you were introduced to it, but you never will.
Exactly. I'm doing a one-man play. It's going to do 100 cities. It's called Michael Colyar's Mama.
Amazing.
If you like your mama, you're going to love the play. And what's really awesome about this play, we've already done 8 cities. I only got 92 left.
Okay.
It was amazing about it.
Hurry up before it run out of town.
Oh, you know, we're going everywhere with this play. And, you know,
100
it
cities,
me,
that's a lot.
Oh, it is a lot. And my producer tells me no one's ever done 100 cities. But this story is fabulous. You know, so I come from projects to making money, you know, and to finding that rock.
Right.
You know, and with that rock, you know, I mean, I also had one night I broke into my own damn house. You hear me? I walk around with motherfucking TV before I realized this my place, you know. And so in the play I get to act it out. You know. So I act out the addiction and the recovery, and you know, sneaking in 3:30 in the morning, trying not to wake the missus up, you know.
So your wife didn't know you were smoking?
Oh, absolutely she knew.
She knew, okay.
Absolutely. She absolutely knew. And it was weird because I am transforming as I do the play.
Okay.
I am unfolding into my greater self. Every time I do this play, I learn something else about my family and my life. So when I first started doing the play, I used to talk about the fact that I would sneak in, and once I was glad she was settled in bed and settled with the fact that I was home, then I go into the bathroom. I sit on the floor for 2 hours with that broken piece of glass and that extra rock I brought for my backup. And so I sit in there butt naked for 2 hours getting high, and she would never knock on that door and say, "Get out of there, and don't be in here smoking." And, you know, I don't know if she was asleep or if she was pretending to be asleep, but I sort of held it against her that she didn't knock on that door and say, "Motherfucker, don't be doing that here, and, you know, get yourself together." And so I would say that on stage.
Right.
And then in the middle of the performance, I stopped myself and I said, wait a minute. I should have never put her in that position.
That's real.
She shouldn't have to have sit there or laid there pretending to be asleep, if she was pretending. Because I don't know if she was. I don't want to say she was, you know, and I don't want to be throwing her under my fucking bus.
Did you ever have any discussions about your addiction? Like, she never approached you and said, you know, we need to make some changes? Or?
Well, I mean, of course, she would always say you need to stop. I mean, she was trying to tell me to stop, but I wasn't trying to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't blame her at all. And it wasn't her place to stop me.
That's real.
It wasn't her job to do that, and I shouldn't have put her in that position.
That's real.
But the realization of it didn't hit me until I was in the middle of the performance. And I was on the floor on the stage, taking my blast and talking about it when I went, shit, I'm sitting here waiting for her to save me.
Right.
But it wasn't her place to save me.
That's real.
Wasn't nobody going to save me. If I was going to be saved, I had to save my damn self.
Absolutely.
And that realization didn't really hit me till I was in the middle of this play.
Right.
You know, so I'm learning all the time, and it's healing people nationally. Like when I did it in Chicago at the DuSable Museum of African American History, the politicians there gave me $5,000 to buy tickets for other addicts so that they could come to the play and be inspired.
That's dope.
Because the story is, I did all that shit, but a lot of times we think, that success is linear path. It never is. There's ups and downs, hills and valleys, there's zigs and zags.
I'm going to tell you something, man. This
know?
is just from my experience, man. When I think back to my humble beginnings as a drug dealer and the network of people that I've met, you know what I'm saying, up until today, the drug addicts have definitely outlived the drug dealers.
They always outlive the drug. The addict always outlives the dealer.
The drug addicts always outlive the drug dealers.
That's clear.
You know what I'm saying? It's people who still smoke it to this day. And I'm like, damn, bro, you still alive?
No, I go to Venice Beach.
You better not stop. No, that might be what's keeping you
around. I go to
around.
Venice and see brothers who was out there when I was doing comedy was getting high.
Right.
And they still tweaking and walking fast right now.
Right.
And I'm like, they have so much shit in them, nothing can kill them. You know, they like Superman, man. And I thank God for that because God turned it all around for me. So I thank God that I'm not there because I could have been there.
That's
Anybody
real.
could be there.
That's how I feel
you know?
about, my life as a drug dealer. I thank God that I was blessed to be able to do what I love for a living.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But listen, about your career, because it's been a very, very legendary one. You have played some of the most memorable characters. You know what I'm saying? Which one was the most fun? Because I remember House Party.
Well, of course, that's the most fun. Showboat was the most fun because they let me go.
Yeah.
You know, they just let me go, you know, so that was really cool. The greatest thing really is the play I'm doing now because I'm really discovering myself.
Well, the one-man show, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, one-man show is.
Yeah, man, can't nobody fuck that up but you.
Yeah, exactly. and I'm doing 55 minutes with a 15-minute intermission, then 45 minutes, and I'm playing 17 characters.
That's dope.
So I'm all over the place with that, and I'm getting to discover all kind of things. But House Party was just crazy fun. It was so much fun, and they gave me an outline, and then they let me create who Showboat was.
No script, just, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
just
they
let
had
you
a script, but it was a very loose script, you know? And what I'm trying to do now is put together my own, you know? So we shot some specs on it, but I'm trying to do Showboat's House Party. So 25 years later, we have a 8-story mansion.
8-story?
Oh, it's off the chain, brother. It's crazy. It's 8 stories. On the 6th level is a nightclub in this dude's house, brother.
Okay.
So we shooting Showboat at his 8-story mansion.
What was Showboat doing? Showboat was a pimp, wasn't he?
Well, no, he's a music promoter, man.
He was a
People keep thinking he is a pimp.
I thought he was a pimp.
So kids gonna come back and do it with me.
I thought the music executive thing was just like, to wash the money from pimping.
Yeah, that's what y'all supposed to think. That's what y'all supposed to think, you know? But yeah, you know he was doing his little thing.
Man,
he was getting it.
Showboat getting a lot of bread, man.
And Showboat is still alive every day. Every day people come up to me and quote lines that I don't remember.
Right.
You know, because this was 20 years ago, some shit, 25. People come up and quote them like they heard it yesterday, because they did hear it yesterday. They show this shit every day somewhere. So that was cool. You know, playing Gina's boss on Martin.
That was also dope. When she had the fucking
headboard on her
head. Man.
But because Martin's such a class actor,
man,
working with that dude is so classy. You know, so that was cool. You know, I liked working with Murphy, Eddie Murphy, and the thing where he played the big fat woman.
Doolittle, Dr. Doolittle. Professor Clump. Nutty Professor. Norbit.
Thank you. He know my shit. But
you said the fat
Norbit.
woman. Okay. Rasputia. Yeah. Okay,
oh my God. People love that. But I think really my best role was the animation. You know, I did The Princess and the Frog, and that was so cool to go to Disney Studios, which is underground, which I didn't even know they had underground in L.A., in a city that's got motherfucking earthquakes. I don't know why you have some shit underground. But anyway, they take you underground, and then they open it up. And when they open it up, there's all the original artwork from all the Disney classics on the wall. And then after you sign up, after you sign the contract, then they come and they hand you the picture of you. Animated. That's some fly shit, you know, and just to be able to get in there and create that character from that is so cool, you know. I mean, I'm most grateful, really, for just God giving me an opportunity to still be here and doing what I love to do.
That's right.
And doing it at the top of my game. And me not getting caught. I mean, I almost got killed out there one night trying to buy some crack from this brother in Rialto. And he went in his pocket to get the dope. I thought he was going for a pistol. I played like I had a pistol. This motherfucker pulled one out for real. I'm like, damn.
You had to be
and he was like, motherfucker, what you doing? I was like, oh, man, I was just nervous. Man, get your punk ass out of here. So I ended up going home without the dope. It was a terrible night.
That was a horrible night.
It was a horrible night all the way around. Didn't work out for nobody. So that's the great gift is though that we learn down the road.
Right.
That everything really is about family and God.
That's real.
So once you get family and God down, everything else really takes care of itself. So the gifts of sobriety, I have this awesome queen, a woman I've been looking for my entire life, brother. Any place I've ever looked for a woman, I was looking for her. I was looking for her before I came to this planet. Oh, she a bad motherfucker.
Now.
She can't walk on water, but she damn near can. She a bad motherfucker.
And by her, you mean sobriety?
No, I mean my woman.
Your wife.
My queen. Man.
Okay, got you.
My goddess, man, Kelly. She's amazing. But beyond being fine as frogs have. You ever see frog hair? You can't see it. It's too motherfucking fine. You must use a microscope.
It lay down easy.
Oh, yeah, it lay down
real easy.
It lay down easy. And she's just amazing and spiritual. In fact, I'm sending her to Egypt. She's going to Egypt for 2 weeks with 21 other sisters for the Sacred Sisters Retreat, where they're going to meditate. They're going to get in the waters at the West Bank. They're going to go to all the pyramids and Giza and Kemet. But she's just so awesome. That's a gift of sobriety. I couldn't get her if I was still out there getting high.
That's
what I'm saying? Because also it just happens that she's sober too. And she's done her dances with substances, and now she's sober. I met her at the coldest church in the world, Agape. But
the
also...
coldest church in the world. Now, that's something I want to talk about because we're talking about churches, and you talk, and we both have a very close connection with God.
Yes.
Probably more so because of what we have seen Him do in our lives.
Right.
And that's something that can't no preacher show us. No rabbi,
right.
You know what I'm saying? There ain't nobody that, like you got to see that for yourself.
And I'm not religious, I'm spiritual.
You see, that's the thing. Now, that's the difference because you said the coldest church in the world.
Yeah.
So now, when you go to church, what is it that you're actually looking? Is it just that you're just going to see a good show or like what is it?
Our church is really not a church. It's called the International Center of Faith.
Okay.
So anybody who could come as long as you believe in that higher spirit, that thing that's greater than you.
Some greater than
everything from nothing. See, I think religion is what people believe that that there is a hell. Spiritual people know we already been there. So I'm not in no space where I'm worried about going somewhere. I'm in it already. Wherever I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be. God is already with me and knows me, and He ain't judging me. He ain't sent somewhere, taking notes. Okay, he fucked up, smoked that right today. Oh, he just fucked a hole. Let me put that down. Oh, wait, he did something nice. He helped a lady. I'm going to take off 2 points. He ain't sitting around doing nothing like that. I mean, at least I agree. I worship. I don't think that people who be talking, I got to ask God for forgiveness. I don't think God ever been mad at you. He ain't never been pissed. Why he pissed off at you? How could he be pissed off with you when he already know everything you gonna do?
That's
you
real.
Think you can surprise him? He didn't see that shit coming. Fuck out of here. How you gonna surprise him? You can't surprise him.
Hell
What I'm saying? And when they say stuff like hellfire and brimstone, you gonna burn. Man, look, I got a son. He fought it. He ain't shit. But I wouldn't want him to burn his finger, brother. Let alone his whole hand for 5 minutes. Let alone for eternity. Yeah. And I don't have the capacity to love that God does.
That's
so
right.
certain things. So our center, Reverend Michael Beckwith, he talks about spiritual truth and light and how we live and how we love and lift each other up.
Right.
I mean, you walk out feeling that you are where you're supposed to be, man. Everything is in divine order, man. If things are supposed to be different, they'd be different.
That's real.
Now
let me ask you this. Do you think you could get that same feeling if you just stayed home and meditated to yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because this thing that we want to call God, or you want to call it whatever you want, God don't care what you call him because he comes in so many different forms.
Right.
Resides in the center of your heart.
Yeah.
So the closer you can get to God, the closer you get to your heart. And that's an inside job.
That's real.
You ain't got to be nobody. Wait, I got to tell you this joke. So this guy, he dies and goes wherever you go in the end. And so the guy's taking him around. He said, look, over there, them the Christians. Shh. Now over them the Buddhists. Shh. Over there, them the Hindus. He said, why you keep whispering? He said, because they all think they're the only ones here. So yeah.
Man, and see, but you kind of go into these these conversational bits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is that like you just kind of working on your craft, testing that material? Like, is the world your stage?
It is. Every place I am is my stage. And I'm always learning stuff, and I'm learning mostly, every time I'm learning stuff about you, I'm learning about me.
That's real.
So it's getting me closer and closer to my joy. But yeah, prayer and meditation can take you wherever you want to go. It can get you out of any trouble. Prayer has saved my life more times Van Camps has pork and beans, and it don't matter. And it don't matter what the situation is. Prayer makes it better.
Man, I've seen you. I believe you performing at the Comedy Store, if I ain't mistaken.
I do the store and I do improv. And
it could have been. It was one of the. It was one of the local comedy clubs. Cause that's something me and my old lady do. We just pop up in comedy clubs.
Y'all
and just
came
check
to see
out.
me in Atlanta at Uptown.
Yep, at Uptown
for her birthday.
Yep.
Wait, do you remember this? It was a damn roach on the wall. It was big as your thumb, and he was walking down the wall near y'all table, and I think you looked at it and said, "Oh, is he with you?" It was like crazy where you came from with this shit. It was like, "Oh, is he with you?" I was like, "Get the fuck out of here,
man." But what I was gonna say is, you have one of like some of the strongest stage presence. Like you can command the attention of the entire audience from the stage and direct them to look this way or to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was one bit that you had where you'll say something 2 or 3 times, and then like the third time, you'll have them say it for you.
Right,
and you didn't say it. You didn't tell them to say it.
Right.
You just kind of motioning.
That's a good observation.
Like, how, like, where does that ability come from?
I think from the beach. You know, I did Venice Beach for 9 years.
You were the king. They dubbed you the King of Venice Beach.
Oh, yeah, they put my feet and hands out there in concrete to commemorate it. But for
and
9
Venice Beach
years,
came up. If you'd bought you just a little bit of piece of patch of grass right there.
Man, I'd have
right
been
now,
on.
yes,
It'd have been on and
be a
popping,
little,
brother.
It'd be a little bit ass hotel on that
I
motherfucker.
was too busy smoking the grass to
A
buy
little
it, you know. But no, I was there for 9 years. I did 5 one-hour shows every Saturday and Sunday without fail. You know, so being surrounded by 700-800 people at a time, they was always trying to pick at me while I'm working.
But look, though, so you say outside on the corner?
Yeah, I stood right on the boardwalk. And was surrounded by 500 to 700 people each show.
Is that what you was discovered to do Def Comedy Jam?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, Bernie Mac got me Def Comedy Jam.
Gotcha.
Bernie Mac had already known me from doing comedy, and I had just started doing Venice Beach.
Okay.
And I hadn't even heard of Def Jam. He got me on and insisted they put me on.
Right.
You know, and that was cool because they liked it so much I did 6 seasons, you know.
Right, man.
So that was off the chain. But Venice, there's no education like standing in with everybody, white, black, young, old, gay, straight,
right.
people who don't speak English, people who don't speak at all,
right.
and they stay in that hot sun for 40 minutes, and then I spent 20 minutes getting my money.
You did,
and I
what I'm
did
saying.
that shit for 9 years. So I'm going back out and shooting it this May, and we're building a stage that looks like a king's crown. I stand in the middle of it. It's called the King of Venice Beach. But that's why I learned the spontaneity. I don't care what you talk about it. I can go with you. I don't care what the topic is, what we're talking about. I can do. And so that's what the audience, I know how to move the audience, how to watch the audience. I'm never on the stage, and there's anybody I can't see in the room, anywhere in the room. I see what's going on, who's moving, and so I incorporate that into the show. You know, so it's some good shit.
Now, so I know that there's been talks, much like music or hip hop is concerned. There's been a lot of controversy and talks about the validity of a comedian if he doesn't write his own jokes. The same way motherfuckers talk about rappers and if he can really be king if he doesn't write his own shit. How do you feel about that? Do you write all your own material?
I love old jokes. Let me tell you something. I don't think an old joke should die just because the motherfucker that wrote it did. He can't use it no more. Red Fox is one of the greatest comedians in the world.
Absolutely.
He did 75 comedy albums. Nigga, Red is dead. He can't use them jokes no more. We supposed to throw away 75 albums of great comedy?
Right.
Fuck no. I tell them to you. You tell them at work, you're a hero,
Right
and you pay no royalty. So no, my show is always peppered with jokes. You know, like people are bringing me jokes all the time. So I blend them in, but my stories, I always do stories. So I talk about the addiction and weave it in, so it's a comedy piece, or I talk about you know, the things that actually happened in my life. I always talk about that.
That's some shit you got to write.
Yeah, that's the shit. Like the other night, I discovered some shit. Like I just discover some new shit every day. Okay. The other day, I realized you shouldn't clean your glasses with your drawers. Okay, so I'll tell you how I discovered this. I was doing the improv in Florida, somewhere in Tampa, and I got back to my room. You know, at the end of the night, you know, you worked all night, you signed autographs, and sold a bunch of shit because I sell everything in my show. I sell books, CDs, DVDs, fish sandwiches. I don't give a fuck. So I get back to the room, right? So I'm laying there butt naked trying to watch TV. So I get that menu. They got that menu in the room where you can order shit and they bring it. They deliver whatever. But I couldn't read the shit because I can't see shit without. I got glasses in every room in my house, in the toilet, the kitchen, refrigerator, everywhere. I got glasses.
You ever thought about LASIK?
Nah, I ain't fucking with mine like that. So, so I found my glasses and they're a little smudge, you know. So I'm looking for something to wipe them off with. The only thing I had was my drawers was laying right there on the bed, so I wiped them off with my drawers. They was nice and clean too. So I started reading the menu, and I just kept on smelling ass. And I'm like, I don't think this is a good move, you know. I don't think so. Stuff like that, and then it's just written. It's written. It's done.
Yeah.
I walk on stage the next day. I talk about that shit, and it's funny shit. But then I always connect little jokes. You know, I like to throw jokes out that people can go back and tell because that's easy, and no one do jokes anymore. They don't because folks say, yeah, you just got to do routines to be authentic. All I had to do is be funny to be authentic, you know, and I come out and I bring me, and I can look at the audience and fuck with people and say funny shit, you know.
Well, listen, you have also, like, lived within, like, I think maybe 4 or 5 great ages of comedy.
I'm an old motherfucker. I see what you're saying. I think I see where we're going with this. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, what era do you think was, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to say best, but the most impactful era? Do you think, like, of course, because there was fucking Dick Gregory, Red Fox, before there was before there was Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby, and then there was Eddie and Bernie Mac, and you know what I'm saying. So like, what era do you think?
I know comedy history.
And now you know, now you even had like Dave Chappelle, which
Dave's so fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
he's so fucking brilliant.
He's a philosopher, a comedian. You know, he's
such
really
a beast. And you know, a boy that he mentioned, Tony Woods. Do you know Tony Woods?
Mm-mm.
So he mentioned Tony Woods when he got his award at Mark Twain.
Mark Twain, yeah.
And who he looks at. So that's who I just spent Saturday performing with in New York. Is Tony Woods. Tony Woods. You go crazy watching him.
I need to check him out.
Oh, he's so fucking amazing. And he'll come out and do the whole show without doing the show. He said this weekend, well, you know, I'm doing a new kind of comedy. Y'all might have noticed because regular comedy shows, there's a lot of laughing.
Right.
We ain't doing that shit tonight. We doing different shit. I mean, he's just so smart. But David is sharp. I think very impactful for me was the early Def Jam era. That was real impactful because I came up with a lot of comics. So when I came in, we started the Comedy Act Theater. Okay. I was there day one with them. So Comedy Act Theater, what Robin Harris was. He was the MC of that.
Dope.
And all of us started at the same time. Robert Townsend was part of that. The Wayans brothers. And so that was like a real impactful era because all of a sudden, America was open to black comedians.
Right.
Before that, you had one guy over here and one guy over there. And if he was a big black comic, he worked, but it wasn't 10 black comics nowhere. So that era brought on Def Jam. Def Jam let anybody who felt like they had the courage to do comedy do it. Unfortunately, a lot of comics start thinking that cussing is comedy. Cussing ain't comedy. Now, if the joke is motherfucker, then you ain't got no joke. You know, that can be the emphasis on it, but it can't be the joke itself, you know? So for a while, we had a flood, about 30 or 40 just hot comics. And at that era, you had guys who had class. Like Bernie had class.
That's right.
So Bernie would bring people along.
Right.
We don't have comics who really bring you anymore. You have comics who get their piece and they make sure ain't too many other niggas nearby. But when Bernie was coming, Bernie's like, he pick up the phone, he roll with you. He bring people and try to help you go along because it's really enough. It's really enough for everybody. There's plenty of shit, you know?
Because what your intellectual property is you know what I mean?
Exactly.
What you took from your life experiences and how you can convey that message and make people laugh. And can't nobody do your story
ain't nobody
like
else
you.
going to admit to smoking crack. You know?
Well, you know, a few might.
A few might. But they ain't going to do it as a joke. They ain't going to talk but a minute. You know, I found myself in hotel rooms smoking with motherfuckers I generally wouldn't talk to on the street, you know? So, you know, so I know what it could be like, and I'm really honored and pleased that God allowed me to do that dance. Yeah. Because everything that happened to us brings us where we are now.
Whatever don't kill you will build you.
Yeah, I don't curse anything. I bless all of it. Plus everything that happened 10 minutes ago is already over. So now I'm on to the new adventure. Yeah. You know, my new adventure's a motherfucker, man. I'm writing books. I'm doing plays. I'm having the time of my life, man.
You keep it moving, man.
I'm keep doing shit now.
You keep the hustle moving, man. And that's something I can appreciate because I find myself, you know, having to reinvent and recreate opportunities for me and the people around me. And for you, man, it's been, 30 years?
33.
33 years.
Man, I did this when you was 3.
Yeah, well, 6.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if your math bad or you just thought I was a little younger.
I just threw some shit out there. I ain't got a clue.
I mean, so listen, what about the new age of comedians? Now we have social media, Instagram, other means besides actually
some of the
putting
social
your
media
feet
guys
on
are
your
actually
stage.
funny. And some of them just understand the craft of how to use social media. I wish I knew better. I'm trying to learn that. You know,
Right.
I mean, I'm technically retarded. I'm thinking about renting a teenager because they know all that shit.
Man,
they
I got a few on, man. What's your budget, man?
Man, it's a short budget, but let's talk about it. Because they take a phone and become Picasso, man. They are artists with the shit. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out the social media thing.
That's real.
My friend Michael Blackson, he learned that shit.
Man, Michael Blackson, one of the funniest guys.
He
And
funny.
DC Young Fly is also.
DC Young Fly is so funny. I'm going to say this, going to make all of them mad, but I think that if you look at Chris Tucker close enough, you'll see Michael Colyar. If you look at DC Young Fly, you'll see Chris Tucker. And what was deep to me is that all three of us did a stage here about 3 months ago.
For real?
Yeah. And
That's
it was
fine.
off the chain. And DC, I love watching him tell his story. He puts his whole physical body in it.
That's
his
right.
whole energy is in it, you know. So, no, he's great. That guy with him, Carlos Miller.
Yeah,
Ain't
Carlos
no
Miller
fucking
dope
joke.
as hell. Carlos
So it's a
Miller
lot
dope
of
as hell.
cats that's coming who are hot and funny. I just think it's room for everybody. Everybody should help everybody, encourage everybody. I can't do all the work.
Yeah.
So I try to, get stuff I ain't doing to other people, but at the same token, I'm constantly creating. We have to keep creating. That's why I just wrote a new book. And the new book, Michael, goes motivational. When you hear about that bad, I'll be selling it out the back of my car and every place else, you know.
And also, man, one of my favorites in the game, man, Mike Epps.
Oh, I love Mike Epps.
Mike
Epps is so funny.
Yeah, Mike
He told me
Epps
I can come on stage and fuck with him if I'm in the room. So I'm waiting for him to be in the same city with me and be performing. I'm just going to walk out on stage
Cat
and
Williams.
fuck with him. Cat Williams is a genius, though. Cat Williams is really, really, really a genius at this shit.
That's real.
For real. I mean, some of the stuff he says, it just blows my mind. But there's some sharp. There's a guy named Tony Roberts.
Tony Roberts.
Tony Roberts is a beast.
I heard of Tony Roberts.
Tony
I've
Roberts.
seen him Comic View.
Yeah, he's very strong too. It's some really strong.
Tony Roberts, he got the
artists.
thing with his face. He can make his face do a lot of.
Oh,
different
I don't
shit.
know. I know he do this thing about shitting, and he had to put one foot up against the door to make sure don't nobody walk in on you. It gets so good, you have to take your pants off so you can really stretch out and do. I mean, he's just stupid funny, you know.
What about Chris Rock?
Chris Rock is very funny. He's funny.
And see
You
now,
know,
I'm just giving you.
I think he's a particular taste, though, but he's funny.
he dangerous funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
you know
says
what I'm saying?
brilliant things. Like he said to me one of the smartest lines ever. He didn't say it to me, but he said to the audience, he said that black people, we were born suspects. That's some of the sharpest, smartest, funniest shit ever in
Yeah.
a single line.
Yeah.
We're born suspects, and it's so true. You know, I'm watching these white guys now with these fucking cameras. I'm scared of motherfuckers. I don't know what the fuck gonna happen. But
Hey.
I know you got security. I saw the big dude come in. I
Hey.
said, well, I walked up to your big dude. I said, you don't want to carry the pistol, right? He said, yeah, I carry the pistol. I said, okay, we're going to be all right.
Yeah. Hey, so what about like because you mentioned because black comedy is different from white comedy.
It is different.
Because black people are born with comedy in our veins. We got to laugh to keep from crying, take our mind off of poverty and hunger.
And we got shit we've been through.
Exactly.
So we got more shit to laugh about.
Exactly.
You know?
And I mean, I know everybody has a struggle. Everybody has a journey. Who you think is the funniest white comedian that you've heard?
Wow, motherfucker did. Because Robin Williams, to me, was an absolute genius, although I think Steve Martin is absolutely brilliant, too. I wish he would do more comedy. Now he playing banjo and shit. And
He playing the banjo.
Yeah, he playing bluegrass all over the place. But he's really, really, really brilliant. I don't know off the top of my head.
Now listen, there's a gentleman that I have I started just now kind of, you know what I'm saying, looking into. I'm trying to find his name. Don't even worry, we'll edit out all this stuff.
Yeah, because I'm trying
we'll make both of us seem like geniuses.
Yes. Okay, that's going to be a lot of damn editing.
Let me see here,
Y'all must be
man.
flying somebody in.
I'm trying to see what is this gentleman's name. He's brilliant. He was around during the times of.
But not Charlie Fleischer.
Nah. He was around during the times of like, you know, the let's say Richard Pryor and so on and so forth. I saw him. They was on.
But it's not Howie Mandel. Or,
he did too. He did. This gentleman's dead too. But,
he's dead.
He's dead.
Was it George Carlin?
It is George Carlin.
Oh no, George Carlin was the shit. I have a piece of tape on him somewhere that I have to find because I was trying to put together an AIDS tape in '86 when people was dying everywhere of AIDS, and they was calling it the gay white man's disease. They didn't realize they don't discriminate, and everybody get fucked up. And so I was going around to all these celebrities shooting video of them. I shot the woman who played Maude. What was her name? The white actress, and she was just amazing. And I went to his home and shot him, and he did this poem, and he was talking about. He was talking about people don't like to wear condoms because they feel like it's not cool. He said, it's really not cool? Dying. Dying ain't cool. So be alive. Don't be cool. It was just so smooth how he took the words and twisted the words. No, he's a genius. Yeah. And all the stuff he was talking about then
is happening now.
Goes on right now.
Absolutely.
With your guy.
No,
I heard you.
I guess I'm an ex-con. He's a present con. I guess the only thing that associates us is criminality.
Who are we talking about?
The guy you voted in the White House.
Oh, no. No.
No, we got your ballot, Mr. Collier. We seen.
Man, they put me off 6 times off FaceTime for fucking with him. Cause I put
Facebook?
On Facebook. I put on a blonde wig, and I said, "I'm Donald Trump, bitch." And I do this whole piece coming, whatever crazy shit he said that week. Right. I'll be repeating that shit like it's okay to say it. They took me off. They said you can't play at the president like that. They took me off for a day. They brought me back. I did it again. Took me off for 3 days. I did it again. It took me off for 3 weeks. I did it again. It took me off for 6 months. Then I stopped because I really sort of want to use FaceTime. So
Facebook.
No,
Facebook.
Oh, Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
See, I told you.
It's okay, man.
I got to get a teenager.
We got to get a teenager in here, man.
Yeah, somebody help me with this shit, man.
It might be a little more expensive than you're thinking, but I got some teenagers.
Yes.
I got 3-4 teenagers you can use.
Damn. I hope they take EBT. So, I don't know. So,
is there any topic when you're joking, right? When you're coming up with jokes, is there any topic for you that is off limits, that you feel is too dangerous and too...
no, I don't think there should be. I don't think it really should be. I wouldn't joke about rape. I just wouldn't. I think that's too painful and hurtful for women.
Right.
So I think
men
would be and men.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it would be more
rape
painful.
knows no gender.
Yeah, it would be. That's true, and it would be painful, more painful than the comic payoff. Some people say, "Well, I'll say anything." I won't just say anything because I don't want to fuck the audience up. I want to make them laugh, but I don't want to make them I won't make fun of a person and hurt his feelings. Like I won't do that. Right. I'll make fun of you where you'll laugh at you too. Right. But I won't make fun of you where you feel like I made you feel like an asshole in front of 200 or 300 people. Right. I'm not gonna do that because I want your money next month. You know what I'm saying?
You know who I feel like was one of the greatest at taboo topics and making bad jokes sound good. I was gonna say Patrice O'Neal.
Oh, Patrice, he was the best that ever lived. Patrice, he was the absolute fucking best, man. Yeah, I love Patrice O'Neal, man. His delivery, his style, so relaxed. Yeah, man. He could talk about pussy, and you just like, damn. I thought we was talking about something in encyclopedia. He make pussy conversation, brilliant.
When I saw, I guess, one of his most watched specials, and he actually joked about the thing that killed him, which was, I think, high blood pressure, cholesterol. Like he had, and he said that during this special, he was like, "Yo, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got long, so I'm gonna live to the fullest." I think that's every comedian's, that's their aim. They hope to make people, or make even themselves at times, laugh at pain so much till the pain don't hurt no more.
Yeah, I think you want to peel your skin away and give it to them raw on stage. And let them know where you're really, really coming from. The few people can do it and pull it off. Yeah. When you can do that and pull it off, it is a level of genius that's respected by other artists, even artists who aren't comics, just, because mastery is what it's all about at the end of the day. Self-mastery. Mastering your spiritual life, your physical life, the production you do, your love life. To master it all is what it's about. And masters recognize masters. That's why I like you when I first saw you because man, I said, "That motherfucker boss." And that was just when I only knew musically. And then the first time I heard you have a conversation, I was like, "Man, this nigga had a book or something." What the fuck is going on? You're just so sharp and responsible.
Well, I don't know about that part. You
well,
give me a little too much credit now.
Speak responsibly.
Okay,
I don't know what the fuck you're doing when you leave here.
But we use that word very loosely.
Very loosely.
So. Now, has Michael Colyar ever told a bad joke?
Not that I know of. I've never had a bad set. Only time I've ever performed and nobody laughed was we went to war with the Middle East. And on that day, I had a gig at the naval base. And I performed for 6 minutes, and ain't nobody laugh at shit.
What?
And finally, Joan Rivers came over, and she said, "You are very brave to even try to do comedy here on this day," because everybody's about to ship out.
Yeah.
And nobody laughed. But other than that, no, I don't fail at this shit. No.
Okay.
I'm good at this.
Here's another question.
Okay.
Now, you may have a more creative answer.
Okay.
Which set is better, the set when you were high or the set now that you're sober?
Never did a set when I was high.
You never did a set when you was high?
No. You mean actively high or during times I was being high?
No, like high on stage.
Never been high on stage. Not once. Nah. I respect what I do.
That's real.
I really respect this craft. I respect my audience. So
that kind of discipline for an addict is
real
is far and few between.
It's real discipline, but as soon as I get off stage, I had some place to go. Come hold me up. I got some place to go. But no, never on stage. I never really wanted to be found out.
That's real.
I didn't get found out till I came out and
That's right.
talked about it.
Gotcha.
And I realized that I needed to talk about it because it's healing.
Right.
There's so many people who really want to stop.
Right.
And they say to me, "How'd you do it?" I mean, I did crack 23 years. And, people that have been doing it 23 months think they can never stop. And this bullshit, you can. It ain't easy.
That's right.
But you can. As long as you keep God first, man. As long as you decide that you value your life more than that dying shit. Dying shit ain't nothing. I don't know what's going to happen when we die. But I dig being here.
That's right.
I dig the living
got shit to do, man.
It's fun.
You got to inhale and exhale.
I like
that shit
food
is good.
and all kind of shit. It's good.
You know what I'm
Fucking.
saying? Yeah,
I want to be here.
God made anything better than pussy. He kept it for himself.
Man, yes, he did. It's in a steel box in heaven, nigga. I know what the fuck he did with that one. Yes.
I mean, man, well, I appreciate you and thank you for sharing your vision, your talents. And using your stories and experiences to help others and have them to know that they're not the only ones that's going through the shit. And
that's important.
There is another side to this shit.
That's important.
And you're an example.
And me healing other people is healing me.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm constantly healing more and more as I see the addicts, which what addicts are supposed to do. Now, me, I'm not anonymous. Okay, so I go I go to Cocaine Anonymous, and they don't always like me at the meeting because I'm not anonymous. I talk about it everywhere. And people say, "Well, why are you telling me?" I said, "Motherfucker, I'm telling everybody." Because I want my story to be so clear that you ain't gonna never see me nowhere high. If you see me somewhere high, you can come and slap the fuck out of me. Everybody on the planet know that. If you see me with a joint or take a sip, just come up and slap the shit out of me because I don't do that, and I put it out there clearly. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's healing. I think a lot of people are learning from it and getting back to themselves because it's more fun, man. When you can taste the food. Food tastes good, Nick. It does.
Man, listen, thank you so much for joining us here.
All right, let me tell folks where to find me, man.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Before we do that, we have a tradition here at expediTIously.
Okay.
And it is the word of the week.
The word of the week.
Yes, the word of the week. And the word of the week is usually a word that probably it goes with the person I'm talking to or the conversation. And another thing that we haven't spoke on much, but another thing I noticed about you is you have your own flair when it comes to style, fashion, how you dress, how you present yourself. So because of that, I thought that this word, the word for this week should be haberdashery.
That's my word. I knew you was going to say that.
You knew I was going to say it.
I knew you was going to say it. Because I am haberdashery, brother. I'm a connoisseur of fine haberdashery. That's my shit.
Okay, listen.
Yeah, haberdashery is my thing, brother. I love clothes, man.
Okay, well,
that's my new drug, actually. Once I stopped doing crack, I started buying shit that's crazy. I shot my ass off. You saw these shoes?
That's real. Yeah. The motherfuckers look like you made them just for you.
Yes, sir. And there ain't but one pair on the planet, bro.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, you see somebody else in this shit, they stole some shit. You better tackle them motherfuckers. They're doing some illegal shit.
Hey, man. So haberdashery is defined as men's clothing and accessories. Now I like to use it in a sentence now so people who listening can go off and learn, go off and share it at the water cooler at work like they've known the word their whole life. Something that me and Michael Colyar have in common is that we both are connoisseurs of fine haberdashery.
That's right.
Yes.
That's the way to use it, man.
Right.
That's exactly what
Well, listen, man. So now tell people where they can find you and tell them everything that you want them to know.
Okay, first of all, I'm easy to find. I'm on everything. I'm on Facebook as Michael Colyar. I'm on Instagram as Michael_Colyar. That's Colyar. I have a sexy web page called TheRealMichaelColyar.com, which actually tells everything I'm doing. The show Michael Colyar's Mama, if you go in there and hit the tab called Mama, it'll open up. It'll tell you about the story. It'll show you 6 minutes of the play. It's a calendar that shows you where I'm going around the country. I'm an email. You can email me at ComicKing123 because I don't even know how they had a show called The Kings of Comedy without the King. ComicKing123 at AOL.com. Shit, I'm in the Yellow Pages and they don't even sell the Yellow Pages. If you don't find me, you ain't looking for me, goddammit. I'm your boy, your servant, your brother, Michael Colyar. Honored to be here. Please look for my play. And I'm trying to do another movie version of House Party.
That's dope.
So I'm doing what's called Showboat's House Party.
Right.
It's going to be Showboat 25 years later at this 8-story mansion in Beverly Hills. It's some cold shit, man.
Well, man, I'm looking forward to it, and even more so, I'm just looking forward to you continuing to do your thing, man. Thank you for entertaining us.
God bless you.
For
Thank
decades
you for
on
letting me be
end.
here. Thank you, brother.
My pleasure.
And I'm just starting. You wait till you see what happened. Wait till you see what happened this year.
That is Michael Colyar, and
Thank
this
you.
has been Expeditiously. Watch your favorite episodes of Expeditiously right now on the Expeditiously YouTube page.